Julie Dashy did a Kickstarter. Spike Lee did the Kickstarter. There seems to be a trend in terms of this.
They didn't influence me because I'll tell you, I didn't even know the mechanics of it until a few weeks ago. Some young people just said, wake up, get into this thing, let's help you. Ye Tutelage, is a film, it's about a domestic servant, the principal character, and a love affair with an ordinary character. And what interests me about is how her life is locally dominated and globally dominated in the American empire. So I'm fascinated by her story, because her want to love is not affordable locally by the local power structure. So even if she escapes the local power structure over her, she enters the global power of the American empire that began in the Second World War. So I want to make a film about, even love is headquartered by this empire and arrangement locally and globally. Defending my imagination is key for me, is important from day one. Once I moved into motion picture, I said, from here on, I defend my ideas. I defend my stories. I'm as greedy about my story as white people are, period. And that's normal. And most white people say, yeah, that's correct. So when you don't tell your story, you'll be a confused human being forever. And that is what we are testifying now. We testify in Brazil, in Jamaica, in Ethiopia, Ghana. We testify as displaced people because we've lost a grip of our own story. And all human beings make stories to have a sense of continuity as human beings. The white power structure sustains its continuity. It's very greedy. It names the streets you walk on. It tells you who invented the street lights. It tells you who went to space and called it name with all Greek names of all the galaxies. Why? It has a mileage for white people. White power is a very undeclared, silent, confident domination of the world in globalization terms. So they don't have to assert continually, because we live in their dictionary. We live in their vocabulary of white supremacy. Our desire is contaminated and held hostage by white supremacy. And so in a time like this, fighting to declare your own identity, your own story, therapeutizes you, gives you a sense of continuity, a human, where you've come from. Otherwise, you are a non-entity. But to me, until you create the economic infrastructure that is also interested in multiplying and transforming, the cultural expressions of black people, it remains mortgaged. And when your imagination is mortgaged, the story of a people is compromised. Because you have to know the artist doesn't want to compromise to the very community. Mm-hmm. But it's not even the issue. The artist is expected to compromise to white demands, to transplant white characters that never were. For my mother to exist, she has to drive Miss Daisy. That is a complete racist arrangement, but we allow it to this day. Everywhere I go, there's a Driving Miss Daisy play going on, if not a movie. And most servant movies are made to drive Miss Daisy one way or another. Why is that? It's because of the white power over black subject matter.
So we're using technology to help get the word out, to help raise money and allow you to independently make the film that you want without compromise.
Well, when I'm begging, I'm compromising, my brother. And I'll tell my other friends, if it succeeds, I want to pull Charles Burnett, Larry Clark, Ben Caldwell, and then say to them, hey, folks, Billy, this thing works, and I will be a good, what you would call I will be the missionary for the cause of crowd fundraising.
Your tutelage.
You should write it abbreviation-wise. What's wrong with you? Yetutlij. You have it.
That's right there.
Yeah.
And child of.
Yetutlij. Child of is her creation.